Hi, and welcome back to Knights HQ podcast, brought to you by Maxwell Recruitment and Training. Maxwell provides labour hire and apprenticeships for the region's best manufacturing, mining services, engineering trades, construction work sites, including global OEMs. Maxwell is currently recruiting 2024 apprenticeship intake, so if you're a hardworking school leaver or experienced in an industry already, you can register your interest now. Matt, how can they do that?
They can go onto the Maxwell website. You threw me a hardball there, bro. I'll just give them a call, mate. That's usually your part. What are you doing?
Yes.
threw me under the bus, bro. Holy heckers.
What he was trying to say was jump on their website and give him a call.
I'll give him a call. How are you, Jay?
Good, bro. How are you? I wanted to mix it
wrong
up.
Jay. Sorry, bro. Sorry. It's because I call him Jay all the time. Well, I'll introduce our guest. None other than our man, Jacob Saifiti.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
No worries, bro. Thanks for coming on.
And sorry, I just wanted to mix it up. We did it the same every time. I was like, nah, let's introduce Matt with a bit of a sponsorship.
I wasn't ready for it, bro. I was not ready for it. What's happening, Jay?
No, not much at all.
I should call you Jacob, actually, just so we don't get confused.
No, that's fine.
Coming in on your day off, man. Thanks. What have you been up to?
We'll just do some recovery then and probably play some golf later.
Yes.
What's your handicap at now? 27?
26. Terrible, yeah, I know.
Hey, welcome, brother. You're amongst friends.
Would
It's
you
all
be
good.
top 3 in the team, you reckon?
No, bottom 3.
You reckon?
No.
Top 5. Top 5.
Well, how many?
There's like 6 that play,
yeah.
so.
So it's like Kalen, Gags. Kalen, Gags, yourself.
No, Jones is the best.
Is Jonesy better than KP?
I played with him at
Brody.
Shortland, hit 1 over 72 at Shortland. Yeah, he's a beast.
What about RJ?
I played with Jonesy a few times.
RJ gives himself a decent rap.
He's overrated.
Right.
He says
Overrated
he's
by
off 12,
himself.
I played with him, slices of doom.
I remember you were saying that he could beat K off the stick. He wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
No chance.
Yeah, no
Kalen
chance.
be $1.10, I reckon.
Yeah.
And Gags goes all right.
Yeah, Gags is really good.
Gags is good off the tee box, man. He gets after it.
Who do you reckon in the squad could go all right if they gave it a crack?
BJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Far
Hectic.
out. BJ.
That would have been an all-time out there at Shorty.
Yeah.
1 over.
I think he won the competition that day too, yeah. 43 points, I think.
Well, he plays at the vintage like 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
And Shorty compared to the vintage is a
Chalk
much
and
easier
cheese.
course. He would have
yeah,
killed it.
yeah.
Yeah. Mate, we're going to start with some quick-fire questions. Just a couple of get-to-knows, you know. You can elaborate if you want. You can just keep it one word, whatever you want to do. Last TV show you watched?
Only because Imogen watches it, Glee.
Don't throw that.
No, I swear, I don't watch TV much.
Don't
I'm
throw
just
that
being honest.
in the
I'm just
mix.
being honest. Every
I
night
love
she
that
puts
you're
it on.
honest, though.
I'm on my phone and she's watching Glee. So it's Glee. Swear.
I actually got into Glee there for a little bit.
Yeah, I might peek every now.
Yeah. So, sometimes the
Love
covers are not that bad,
Yeah.
but then other times it's
Cringe,
tough to
yeah.
watch.
Dude, my wife was watching F-Boy Island in our lounge room.
Yeah,
I was in our room watching telly. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
She told me, and I'm like, this is terrible. And then I just kind of
these days.
slowly couldn't walk out of the lounge room. Just get a little.
Dylan Johnsy get around that. Yeah. Anyway, golfing or fishing?
Ooh.
That's a tough one, eh?
If I can only do one,
Only do one for the rest of your life. The other one you never be able to do it again.
probably golf. I like fishing, but I don't eat seafood, so golf.
Yeah,
Okay.
true. You don't. You and your brother.
Go-to tunes to play in the dressing room before a game.
Probably a bit different. Probably slow, like them late 90s, early 2000s R&B.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have a ritual? Because sometimes I notice you put them on like
Yeah. just
5
before-
minutes. Yeah, like
Just before I go out, I'll do some Wim Hof breathing and put the same song on normally.
what song is? Am I we allowed to know?
Yeah, Sweater Weather by the Neighborhood. So.
Oh, that's yours. That is your song
Yeah,
too.
nice. That is so interesting that what you're doing the most calm, chill thing you can before you go out there and do the most full-on violent sort of sport in the middle. Like,
I listen to a song called Fantasy by Earth, Wind and Fire before every game.
Oh, yeah.
As I put my boots
Great
on,
song.
yeah, I've told you that. Yeah. As I put my I don't really listen to music. I just listen to whatever's on the speaker, and then as I'm putting my boots on, I put my headphones on. Listen to Fantasy.
Jimmy, idea. Write it down. We get a Spotify playlist of all the songs that the boys listen to before they run out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair
That'd
enough.
be kind of cool. Fastest Knights player? Is that right?
I think that's just a question. Who is the fastest
Dom.
nice player?
Yeah,
Dom.
right?
He'd
Yeah.
be- I'd back him to be the fastest in the comp.
Yeah, so do I reckon. I don't reckon he's shown
It'd be him
how.
and Saab,
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't reckon he's shown
Top
how
two.
fast he
Nah.
really is. I
Yeah.
reckon he only runs as quick as he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is pretty impressive.
That's pretty cool. He's got speed to burn.
You skip one, JJ. If you weren't a rugby league player, what do you reckon you would have been?
growing up, I wanted to be a primary school teacher, actually. So,
There you go.
yeah, probably a primary school teacher.
So did I, but now I sort of look at it and I go,
Yeah.
geez, that'd be hard work.
Yeah.
Like if you had a kindergarten class, it's almost like daycare.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at his answer.
What?
They wouldn't have known that I skipped one.
Oh, sorry. That's payback for throwing me under the bus with the sponsorship read early.
There's a bit of infighting here with the host.
Mate, every time we get a Saf on, we start fighting. Remember Daniel with his TV shows? We almost clawed each other's necks out.
Oh, that was good. Mate, if you could pick one other Knights player in history that you'd love to play with, who would you have picked?
Oh, Chief, for sure.
Yeah.
Someone I admire. Someone I loved watching. Not so much. I was a bit young to be watching him back then. But, you see highlights and just the way the old boys speak about him. I would have loved to play with Chief.
You never got to play with Craig Smith, eh?
I did.
Yeah, nah, because you're real close with him.
I'm close with him now.
He'd be up there, you reckon?
Yeah, he would be up there too. He's sort of like a mentor for Daniel and myself right now. And just his mentality towards the game, it's second to none.
Yeah.
I was going to say, obviously we all know the highlights of Chief on the field and stuff, and you mentioned him. You'd kind of almost, the stuff off the field would be as important to witness firsthand as the stuff on the field, hey, with someone like that, like such a leader, such a strong presence in the locker room, before the 97 grand final or every time there was a rivalry game. You could only imagine what he was like in the sheds before it. Hey, it would be crazy.
Would have been mental. Oppenheimer or Barbie?
I haven't seen either, but I want to see Oppenheimer. You said it's a great watch.
Oppenheimer is
good.
Prime time, man.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, when did you go watch
It's
it?
3 hours though.
The day it came out.
Long wrought, big three of the best. It's tough.
Worth the watch though.
Yeah, I reckon. You don't really feel like it's 3 hours. The first hour,
goes
feels
really
like
quick.
it feels like it's about 30 minutes. It
Very
flies
dialogue
by.
heavy.
Yeah.
Very
Heavy.
so you got to be listening
Heavy
a lot.
dialogue,
But the way that they set it up and then it all kind of you just got to watch it. It's very, very cool.
So.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino, how his movies have like long dialogue scenes, similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of speaking.
Yeah,
very.
But
very
it's Christopher Nolan is the GOAT, man. He's the man. Very, very cool. Ice bath or sauna?
Sauna
every day.
Oh, then into the ice bath. So
Bit of both.
What about a sauna or a spa?
Spa.
Spa's too good, eh? Spa's too good to pass up on. But it's nice and warm. Best subject at school?
Probably PE, to be honest.
I'll tell you what you would have been gun at, geography.
Oh, no, geography.
I've said this before on the podcast, how good you are at
Really?
geography.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a weird obsession with geography a little bit.
Yeah.
So, can we ask you any capital city of any country type thing?
Not
or?
so much that. Like if we had like a blank map and we pointed to somewhere, he'd probably know what it is. Yeah.
No way.
And flags. Like if we just showed him a random flag, he'd be pretty good at
That
it.
gives me an idea.
It's like Rain Man.
Might be able to do that one day. That'd be really cool. Mate, sporting idol growing up or today?
Growing up, I looked up to Petro.
Yep.
Just being a Fijian lad, someone I admired growing up, and grateful enough to have met him in a couple of Fiji camps and stuff like that. And so Petro was a big one, and also admired Sam Burgess, to be honest, as well. So I'm glad to have played him.
Yeah, very cool.
What about like today? Is there anyone you sort of look up to?
In rugby league or just in
general? Just in general, any sport.
Oh, not really. Probably LeBron.
Yeah.
You're a big NFL fan. Is there any players in the NFL that you froth on?
Darren Waller was my favourite player.
Yeah.
He's a good bloke.
Dude,
what are you more heavy on?
He carried the Raiders this year.
What are you more heavy on, NBA or NFL?
Outside of NFL fantasy, probably NBA. But when NFL fantasy's on, it's all NFL. So.
When that's rocking around the change room,
man.
it's rocking.
Yeah.
And that's all people talk about. As soon as they walk in, they talk about it.
I feel like the Safs are the leaders of that
heavy,
group. Heavy into it.
Heavy 4 different competitions. Imogen doesn't even talk to me. It just consumes my life.
Boys listen to podcasts and stuff about it. Heavy.
Hey mate, so look, we're on a decent run at the moment. We're heading to Perth. Have you played in Perth before?
No, never played in Perth. I've been to Perth. I watched Daniel play his State of Origin debut in Perth. So I've been there.
That's right.
I really liked the place. It was really cool. So yeah, keen to get back.
You played in the Perth Nines?
Oh yes, actually I did. I played in the Nines. Yeah.
Yeah, just come
That's
to
right.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. I did.
Very cool.
So been there a couple of times.
You, Croaks, it's the first time you've gone in?
No, I've been to Perth. I think my little brother might have played in like a New South Wales team over there.
Yeah.
But I've never got the chance to play over there, so it'd be pretty special.
What do you guys reckon is going to happen, like crowd wise and stuff? Like we've got a double header.
It's a double header, so I reckon it'll be pretty big because who's after us? Is it South Sharks? Maybe?
South Sharks, I believe.
Yeah. So it'll be pretty special. We're playing at the same spot that Daniel played his Origin match at.
It's a great stadium.
So it's an oval. It's where they play the cricket, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
and you got to love the opening time slot.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to play, as you always say, night games. You just feel like you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
I think it's the 5:30 time slot here, but it's 3:30.
3:30 over there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I saw that it was 6 and 8, but over there it will be 3 hours earlier.
I don't mind that at all.
That's cool. Yeah. Arvo game, nice one.
Yeah.
Mate, let's talk about this year for you. How do you feel your form's been, and how do you feel sort of the team's going, and I guess with Croaks, how the forward pack's sort of doing their thing and coming along?
Probably in line with the team, a bit inconsistent at times. Probably the start of the year when I got suspended didn't help, but since I came back from the suspension, I feel like it's been pretty solid, and I think trending in the direction that the team's going right now. So
yeah, and look, mate, that's culminated in you getting an Origin call up, which let's be honest, not everyone gets one of those. Yeah. So to say that your form has been pretty good is that'd have to be something for you personally that was a little sort of tip of the cap to show that you're at that level.
Yeah, it was a bit of both. I think it was a bit of trust too, Freddie, knowing that I sort of did the job for him last year in Game 3 as well. So yeah, I think it was a bit of form, but a bit of the performance I did last year in Game 3 as well.
What's it like when you go back into the State of Origin arena? Because it was your first time there when you debuted, and I still remember because you were meant to be 18th or 19th, and you come home, and then Jordan McLean injured his hamstring, and you had to go back in. Yeah, I was. Yeah, we were all in the spa, and Adzi come in and said that you were debuting, and none of us believed him. We thought he was pulling your leg, and then But then your second time back in there, knowing you're playing, is it a different sort of feel?
Yeah, I was a lot more comfortable this time around.
Yeah.
Obviously, going into a new team, a new environment last year, I was pretty nervous, to be honest. I was asking Daniel a lot of questions and stuff like that. But being my second time around, third camp, but second time playing, and knowing I'm playing this year, it's a bit different. I was a lot more confident. Obviously, I knew all the boys a lot better. It's similar crew to last year. Same plays. Obviously, knew all the coaching stuff as well. So I was a lot more comfortable. I knew my role a lot better, and What was it like getting to see Brady do what he did? Oh man, I was so good. I was just as happy when I found out that he was in the team when I found out. I think it was Monday morning. We had a night out and I actually woke up.
After the Dogs game?
Good win, went out and celebrated on the Sunday, and I slept in and woke up to a lot of missed calls on my phone about 10 a.m. and Ads was one of them, and he's like, you look at your phone, they've been trying to ring you. I was like, who? And they were like, the Blues. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then
just for context, never a good sign when you wake up from a big night and the coach is trying to ring you.
Never. I was semi-wicked out.
Never a good sign.
I didn't know that big one, but I was like, what's he doing?
Never a good sign.
And then Jody, the manager for Blues, said, you'll be coming down with Bradman. I was like, Bradman? He's like, yeah, Bradman's playing.
Yeah.
So you can't tell anyone. I was like, no way. So I called Bradman straight away.
Yeah.
And he was so over the moon. So I was just so happy to be a part of his experience.
Yeah. And mate, how electric was it, winning the game down in Sydney and, being out there and being able to experience something like that?
Oh, it was so good. 75,000 people too. It's the biggest crowd I've ever played in. Just to get the win, it was a weird feeling after the game because we had lost the series, but just to get the win, State of Origin win nonetheless. So
that's cool. We got them right where we want them.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good.
I think it's like last try wins.
Yeah, 100%. And while we're on the Origin talk, we've probably never had you on here since your major Origin debut in the Decider. What was all that like?
Oh, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because like we said, it all happened very, very quick.
Yeah.
And it all sort of got sprung on you. Yeah. You'd left camp, you had to go back to camp.
Yeah. I was nervous. Like you said, I didn't have a week to prepare myself. It was like 3 or 4 days when I found out I was playing. And I do get nervous for games, but this was like on another level. I was confident. I was quietly confident I was going to go in and do a job.
Yeah.
But the day of the game, I just remember pulling my hair out, like just self-doubt, like, massive. Like it was like an 8 o'clock game, and I normally have like a 3-hour nap. I was just staring at the ceiling. And but then all that went away as soon as I ran out, and it was weird because I was getting booed, like biggest boos ever.
Suncorp.
Yeah, 50,000 people booing you, and then after that, all my nerves, I just calmed down straight away, and the rest is history.
sorry, hopefully I haven't forgotten anyone, but other than Gags and Kalen for Queensland, did we have any other Knights in the Blues side that year? I don't think we did, right? So you were the only one?
Yeah.
So when you scored, obviously staunch New South Welshman.
Heavy.
And at one of our very own scoring, I almost threw my coffee table over in the lounge room. I was like, yes,
that was mad too, because it's very early.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I got
in your stint, I mean.
Yeah. It was earlier on, like 5-10 minutes into my stint.
And look, to be honest, like all of our players, it happened last year with you, happened this year with Brady.
Yeah.
They always doubt. They're always like, don't know what's going on with that selection, blah, 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 blah. And because I am the most homer dude of all time, I'm like, yeah, you just wait and see. So when you scored, it was like, yes. And obviously what Brady did this year was
what was the feeling like, bro? Because you come on, you had a mad carry.
Yeah.
You sort of got into the ding-dong. You guys get a set down there and you score a try like before half time. What's it like, bro? Are you sort of thinking, oh, man, I might be able to do this?
No, I don't know.
I might stare at the roof more often.
It didn't feel real almost. I remember walking back and just as I'm about to take the kick off after I scored a try, I was like looking around and it didn't feel real, honestly. So, no, it was an unreal experience.
Do you feel like the next time that you played this year, as you said, you're a bit calmer, did you just have time to take little mental snapshots and just kind of bring in the experience rather than just being like, a bit of deer in the headlights type thing for your first experience?
Still sort of was. Like I remember one recovery session, we were in the Coogee pool there.
Yeah.
And I was looking around and there was Cody Walker, there's like Teddy and stuff like that. And it's hard not, I've played like 135 NRL games, but it's still hard not to be in all of these type of blokes. So, you learn a lot in the Blues camps, that's for sure.
Is the goal to play with Daniel in Origin?
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be a massive one that you boys would talk about.
Yeah, it's one of our goals. We've talked about it before. We know how hard it's going to be. You look at the props that New South Wales have to offer, and it's not going to be an easy task. But I'm confident in our ability, and hopefully that can happen one day.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, mate. Look, let's talk about our forward pack. Actually, we've got two of them here. I feel like, you guys have been super consistent this year. The battles in the middle that you guys have been crazy, especially defensively, you guys have been aiming up. Do you guys have like your own little, obviously there's a leadership group and there's this and there's that. Do the forwards get together as a group and really sort of, I guess, I don't know, you never really predict what's going to happen inside a game, but at least come together with some sort of game plan and how you're going to attack, especially when you're going up against these bigger packs and things like that? Yeah,
well, we do have middles meetings, most every week, but most days when we come in for training. And
I know that's more X's and O's stuff, but you know what I'm talking about, like more sort of mentality getting together. Because
before we go out, actually, we get together as forwards while the backs are out doing their kick catch, and Tyson Rizal and Adam Elliott, they're really good on the mentality side of things. They speak really well and they understand the game really well. So they always rev the boys up, and I know it revs me up.
Yeah. How do you look at Jacob as a leader, man, inside the group? Like,
heavy leader. Yeah, more actions first leader.
Yeah,
like you just spoke about Frizz and Adzi Elliott. They're the blokes that sort of do the talking for us. But J-Saf's actions are probably the best out of the lot of them.
Yeah.
Frizz is Frizz, but And thing about Jay, and I'm probably going to pop his tyres up a bit here, but Jay and his brother are real good with the younger boys when they come through, and they're massive for me. But it was real evident when Tommy Camp made his debut this year. His father come in and spoke about Tommy, and he said, Tommy's just so grateful to be here, and he looks up to a lot of you boys, especially the Safs. Yeah. And I reckon there'd be close to a dozen young forwards that have come through this system that could say the same thing.
Yeah.
So that stuff he does like off the field for blokes, but then on the field, he'll do anything for you. Just back to that, like sort of the pack thing. We're pretty tight, I reckon. Yeah. And we haven't had too many injuries where we've had blokes in and out this year. Unfortunately, Daniel's done his quad, but a lot of the time we've been together. Yeah. And so everything we have to do is sort of together. And so you sort of create a bond without creating one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, gotcha.
And when you sort of look each other, when you know you're doing something well together, it's pretty special, and it sort of makes it a bit tighter. So I think that's something that's helped our pack this year.
And we're all really good mates.
Really good mates.
Great.
So that helps that bond on the field, that we're willing to do anything for your mate.
Yeah. Going back to Tommy Cant, do you think that stems from J-Saf? Like, I've heard you and your brother talk about it. When you guys debuted, when you started, there wasn't really a older head to sort of show you boys what was going on. now that you guys are sort of into that thing, was that where that stems from? Like giving people something that maybe you guys didn't have the same experience when you started?
Oh, we did have it like sort of like Jeremy Smith was probably our older head, but that was his last year. So we had it for 1 year and then we sort of didn't have anything after that. And to be honest, Daniel, that next year he got our players player, so he sort of turned into the
alpha dog
in the pack, and he was obviously took off, and then I've slowly clawed my way back, and I'm right there with him right now. So we sort of just assumed that role, and I take pride in looking after the young boys. One day they're going to be in our position doing the same for the next that come behind them. So yeah, it's definitely something I pride myself on.
Yeah, was it sort of forced upon you in a way? Like, does that make sense? Because you were thrown into the NRL so early and you sort of had to be these front rows. Was it sort of forced upon that you had to be alphas, even though you're probably a bit too young for it?
Yeah, definitely. More so Daniel than me in the earlier days.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing back row and I was playing cup, where Daniel, straight from 2017, he was our starting prop and he was our best forward.
Yeah.
Alongside Mitch Barnett. So, yeah, we definitely were just chucked into the deep end, and fortunately, I think we've done all right. So
learning the tough way, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, does it?
100%. Well, boys, we're going to take a quick break. After this, we're going to have 3 Goats with Croaks.
Sweet.
Fan favourite segment. We'll be back on Knights HQ. Okay, welcome back to Knights HQ podcast, brought to you by Maxwell Recruitment and Training. Now, we're going to go on to 3 Goats with Croaks, but I've been told by my counterpart here that we haven't really done your player quiz. We normally do a player quiz with each guest, and Croaks has put his foot down and gone, nah, I need to ask the big fella a few questions.
Well, this one here, it's travel, and I haven't done a whole heap of travel. I'm still pretty young, and the world was shut down for about 12 years there with COVID, what it felt like. So I've only really been to Bali and New Zealand, so my best travel destination would probably be Old Bar or something.
Well, you're an NBA fan. You're somewhat of an NBA fan. How's this, J-Saf? I had a 2-week trip planned to go to Boston. I was going to go to the Boston Garden for 4 games in that 2 weeks. Before COVID. All planned. Comms good. Flights ready. I was going with my dad. 4 Celtics games.
I know you're
just loving
heavy
life.
Celtics. Yeah. Heavy.
Just this was the trip. Season gets suspended. Travel gets suspended.
Feels like 80% of Newcastle's in Europe at the moment.
No refunds.
No refunds.
No refunds on the Ecom. No refunds on the Just
that's rank.
So my travel stuff that would have been like obviously my number one, but never happened.
Okay. So we're going to do a player quiz with my man.
My
man J-Saf. So we've got 5 questions. How do you reckon you'll go, bro?
Not good.
No, I don't. I reckon you'll go all right.
Croaks and Jimmy have written this too during the episode.
I reckon you'll go all right, bro. Because you're pretty you know a fair bit.
Yeah, footy. I'm not too much about myself.
Yeah, you know a lot about other. You and your brother just rattle off names. Okay. You made your debut in round 1 of 2016 against the Titans alongside your brother, Daniel. You played in the second row. Who was your second row partner?
Robbie Rocco?
Yes.
Bang.
Yeah, see, I knew.
I don't know anything about myself. Yeah.
Did you notice the fake pause? He goes, Robbie Rocco. I used to live in Robbie Rocco's house, actually.
Did you used to live with him?
Yeah. And how
is that another player that you used to?
No. I used to. No. He was my. He was my. Whatever you call it. But I versed him while I was living in his house. So he was playing cup for the Tigers at the time, and I was playing cup here.
Yeah.
And we versed each other. It was pretty fun. He was coming to the back end of his career.
Did you win?
And I'd never met him. I'd only ever spoken to him on the phone because it was sort of a connection through the Knights. And I can't remember now. I think they might have beat us.
Mate, second question. Here we go. You played in the 2017. You played in the 2017 World Cup for Fiji and played the USA in the first game. Which current Knights assistant coach was on the US team?
I know that. B-Mac.
B-Mac.
He was. B-Mac. He's had a stellar career. Okay, this was my question I wanted to throw in.
2 from 2, by the way.
2 from 2, yeah. What years haven't you scored a try in your NRL career?
Ooh.
I'll give you a hint. There's 3.
18.
Correct.
I didn't score in 19.
Correct.
And I haven't scored this year.
And ding, ding, ding. 3 from 3, bro.
I'm just going
light work.
Thinking about all the nudie runs I did. And where would the Mad Monday?
When have you ran nude in front of your teammates?
Yeah.
Your debut game for New South Wales, which you scored a try. Who provided the try assist?
Oh, easy.
Happy.
Yep.
Easy.
Bang.
Okay. In your career, including games for Fiji, how many times... Oh, this is a tough one. I'll start again. In your career, including games for Fiji, how many times have you played with your brother Daniel?
Well, if I've played 135 of them, I think I would have played 7. But he didn't play the World Cup, so 2. I'd say 135.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. 113.
113.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, his injuries and stuff.
Yeah, he's got to think of time.
That was a bad guess.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
Hey, 4 out of 5. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, right. So you thought almost all of them.
No, I just thought he played normal games.
Okay, I got another question off the top. What years in your NRL career did you score the most tries in a season?
2021.
And
2016.
No, 2020 you scored 3 as well.
Did I?
COVID year.
Oh, how many did I score in 2016?
You scored 2. Okay. Yeah, 2. 18 games in your first season of first grade.
Yeah.
That's a tough slog.
Yeah.
And then you backed it up with 21 the next year.
Did I?
It's impressive.
And then I think the next 2 I didn't play through injuries.
Yeah, they're a bit rough. But then you went 21, 23, 23, and you've played 14 this year.
Yeah.
Do we have it?
Suspension there where you went Silverwater for a little bit? Got arrested. Jesus Christ.
Still on probation.
Still on probation.
Yeah. Look, we don't have 3 travel destinations for 3 goats and croaks, but do we have anywhere that we want to go?
Oh, have you got something?
Or you haven't? If either you've been there before or you haven't been there and you want to go there.
We want to go. Well, Imogen and I, we want to go to Iceland for our honeymoon. I think
that'd be
see
sick.
the Northern Lights.
Yeah. We haven't even spoken about that. How's the wedding going?
Yeah, wedding planning's going all right.
How much of the wedding planning are you doing, and how much is Imogen doing?
It's probably like 95.5. Yeah. To be honest, I know she's a bit stressed out. She'll ask me questions, and I'll try and answer them the best I can.
When are you getting married? Is it at the end of this year?
October.
How was it?
Cool.
How was it proposing?
Oh, that was cool. Got
nervous?
Dogs involved. Oh yeah, so nervous. Oh, I was rattled.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Imogen after it, like straight after, and she said she could tell something was up. She didn't know what.
Yeah, right.
Because we just got back from Thailand, and she thought it was going to happen over there. So I wanted our 2 dogs involved because obviously we love them. So we waited till we got back and
Kobe and Toa.
Koba
and Teo.
Yeah,
sorry,
you're messing up your vowels, my boy.
I knew it was something like that. Yeah.
And I've obviously I knew I was going to propose to her one day, and I always wanted the dogs involved in some way. So the way I did it, I put on Koba, "Will you please?" Then on Teo, "Marry our dad."
Yes.
Got a photographer down there to capture the moment.
Where'd you do it at, bro?
Near Nelson Bay. I think Corlette. That's where we stayed.
Oh, yeah.
Got an Airbnb up there. And
yeah.
There was
like this good spot there.
Yeah, little lake spot, and just put up there, had a picnic, and lucky girl.
Straight away, yes?
Yeah, straight
No
away.
hesitation?
Why would she?
No, of course. Not rocket science. I reckon a destination for me, I would love to do I was talking to a good mate of mine. I'd love to go to Egypt, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all the generic places in Europe and stuff like that, but I'd love to do Egypt or Japan. I reckon it'd be really, really fun.
Japan's mine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like all the cool tech stuff.
Yeah, I just think it'd be so advanced, mate. It'd be like another world.
Like all the camera stuff I'm really into. They've got a really big sneaker culture over there.
Yeah,
heavy.
So that could be really cool.
Heavy sneakers.
But then like all the mountains and all the natural parts of it would be amazing. Hey,
there.
And food would be sick too at Japan, I reckon.
Where'd you say Iceland?
Iceland.
That'd be hectic.
They have all the black sand beaches and stuff there, and waterfalls and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
We're
really
looking
cool.
at that at the moment.
Yeah,
pretty hexy, but
yeah. It's what it is. Keep telling yourself that. My man. Well, thank you very much for coming on, and good luck with the wedding.
Yeah,
good luck
mate.
with the
It's
wedding.
been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, brother.
We really appreciate your time, mate. Thanks for coming in. Now, guys, you can subscribe and leave a review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Full video versions of these podcasts go up there. You can hit your notification bells to know when the next video is uploaded. There's plenty going around. The Knights, we're on our run to the 8, so we're trying to get there. The best way to stay up to date with all of that stuff is on the club website and social media channels. So follow us at NRL Knights. We'd also like to thank Maxwell Recruitment and Training for bringing you this episode of the pod. J-Saf, once again, thank you very much, brother. Thanks, Croaks. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, listeners.